Hey guys, in my last video I showed you how to make this function execution report decorator in Python. So I was playing around with it and I found that it doesn't exactly work for recursive functions. So today I'm going to show you how to what happens when you use recursive functions with that decorator we created, and also how to fix the problem that occurs. Let me go ahead and run the whole thing for you and show. So one thing you need to know is that I've added this line here in our decorator definition. That is, we are returning the values that are returned by the function which is decorated, because well, those values are used by recursive functions for further processing, right? So we need to return that. Only then the recursive function will work in the first place. So that's the only change in this decorator. Now this is where we stopped uh, last in the last video, where I defined this add till n function, which basically just adds the whole numbers from 0 to n. And just like it's working now, it worked fine last video. And what I did is I tried to convert that into a recursive function, as you can see here. The problem that occurred, as you can see on running, is that it prints it out for each and every recursive call, starting from 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. It prints out the report for each and every uh, function call, recursive function call. So I found three methods that can be used to fix it. Method one, you simply, instead of using this decorator notation to decorate the function, since a decorator is simply a function of a function, we can do the exact same decorator call, except without the at symbol. We'll be passing in the function name as a parameter to the function, right? So now, if now I know it sounds a little weird, but it works. I'm not 100% sure why this works, but this works. Another way which makes more sense logically speaking is you define your function, recursive function first, and then call that recursive function from a different function and decorate that function. So now your decorated function is called only once, and the recursion happens in a purely different function, and this obviously just works fine. The third method is to actually modify your decorator to work with recursive functions, and the way you do this is by tracking which call is the top level call. So what we do is, here in the wrapper function, which basically wraps your decorated function, you are going to define this variable top equal to true. And within the decorating function, the reporter in our case, we are going to call this top variable as a non-local. Basically what it means is that don't define a new top variable, but use the top variable which was defined non-locally, as in not within this function, right? So the non-local top here, it refers to this top variable. So what we want to do is that if top is true, which by default it is, uh, top meaning that it is the top level call, the call that we want to decorate. So if we are talking about the top value, top call, then first off, set top to false, so that any recursive calls will not be decorated. Then we do our usual decoration stuff here, and after our function call, we set top back to true, so that the next time we call the decorated function, it will still be able to decorate it and not just uh, leave it blank the next time, right? So if top is not true, which means that we are inside a recursive call. In that case, we are just going to get the return value from the decorated function and return that return value. So that it might sound a little complicated, but if you go through my explanation a couple of times, you should be able to understand it. If not, please do drop a comment and I'll try to do a better video next time and explain this more clearly. But right now, let me run it and show it to you. So yeah, in this time, as you can see, I've just decorated the function using the new decorator called recursive report, REC report, and it works perfectly fine. This is almost identical to this failing code here, but this time it completely works fine because of the extra tracking which call we are decorating, this extra code that we have added about the top variable in within the decorator. So that completely fixes it. And just to show you that it doesn't the second call won't be decorated if this top if we don't set this top back to true, I'm going to rerun this whole thing. And as you can see, when top is not set to true again, the second call is not going to work. Whereas if I set it back to true, now it's working fine, right?